a film or tell a story. And so when you say these years and the amount of people that I've met.
You've seen John Wick, you've survived The Matrix, and by now, you know exactly who Keanu Reeves is. That calm, quiet force who shot from underdog to worldwide icon before anyone even saw it coming. But the wild part is this rise didn't just bring him praise, it brought heat, jealousy, and side-eye from actors who suddenly felt threatened by how effortlessly he dominated the screen. People in Hollywood started treating him like a rival, clowning his calm style as if it made him less dangerous on screen, while behind the scenes they were scrambling to snatch roles right out from under him. And now, at 61, Keanu has finally decided he's done keeping quiet. He exposed the 6 Hollywood heavyweights who pushed him past the point of forgiveness, and the names he dropped had the whole industry whispering. One name hit harder than the rest: Alec Baldwin. Keanu straight up refused to ever stand next to him again, and not because of jealousy or some petty competition. Their tension came from something Keanu cannot stand: reckless behavior that puts people at risk and public humiliation that crosses personal boundaries. That's the kind of thing that makes him shut a door forever. Their beef didn't explode publicly at first. It started low-key in the late 1990s, when both of them were rising in the industry, building their reputations, and mastering completely different lanes. But even then, people close to the situation could feel something brewing, something sharp, something that was going to snap one day. And the moment it finally did, it changed everything. Baldwin's temper was famous way before the public ever caught wind of it, and producers were already sweating behind the scenes because of how unpredictable he could get. Keanu, who moves through sets with calm energy and steady focus, saw Baldwin as everything he never wanted to be around. They were total opposites, one centered and controlled, the other explosive and unpredictable. Then came the moment that changed their relationship forever. It was 2003 at a private industry roundtable, the type of event where everyone pretends to be polite while secretly sizing each other up. A director pushed back on something Baldwin said, and instead of taking it in stride, Baldwin snapped so hard, the entire room went silent. He pointed at the actors around him and barked, "Some of you don't even deserve to be in this room?" And then he locked eyes right on Keanu. For someone like Keanu, who lives by respect and quiet discipline, that wasn't just a rude comment. It crossed a line he doesn't forgive easily. It wasn't about ego. It was about dignity, professionalism, and basic human decency. That single moment flipped a switch inside him. Years later, while doing a rare interview in Japan, Keanu finally let a little truth slip. He said, "Once someone shows you contempt, you don't forget it." That was it. No names, no details, but everyone in the industry knew exactly who he was talking about. It was one of the few times he let people see the wound behind his silence. And as time passed, Baldwin's controversies just kept stacking up like evidence. Physical confrontations, legal nightmares, heated outbursts on sets, and eventually, the tragedy on the Rust set that shook the entire world. To Keanu, all of it formed a clear pattern. It wasn't random. It wasn't bad luck. It was the same chaos he had sensed decades earlier, proving what he believed all along. Baldwin's impulses didn't just make him difficult, they made him dangerous. Back in 2011, Keanu reportedly looked a producer dead in the eye and said, "Chaos isn't talent. Chaos destroys talent." That line stuck with people because it explained everything without naming a single person. Ever since then, any attempt to place Keanu and Baldwin in the same ensemble film has crashed instantly, because Keanu shuts it down without giving a reason to anyone. They haven't spoken in over 15 years, don't greet each other at events, and won't even risk ending up in the same photo frame. But Baldwin wasn't the only one who got crossed off Keanu's list. Enter Shia LaBeouf, the actor who took Keanu's respect and flipped it into pure disappointment. Keanu's issue with Shia didn't build up over time. It broke instantly the moment Shia did something Keanu sees as a major violation. Keanu believes that a film set should be protected, respected, and kept steady, not turned into a circus full of ego and attention grabs. Their tension sparked back in 2006 during studio workshops where both actors were present. Shia, already known for wild antics, decided to interrupt a serious discussion by clowning veteran actors, saying they were too stiff. The room went quiet, and Keanu, sitting just 2 chairs away, stared at him with straight-up disbelief. People there said you could feel the energy in the room shift. A producer later told Film Comment that after the session, Keanu lowered his voice and whispered, "He confuses disruption with depth." That one quiet sentence hit harder than any public statement could. It marked the beginning of a cold, silent tension between them. A tension that never warmed up again. The real breaking point between Keanu and Shia didn't happen on a set. It exploded at a charity event in 2008. Shia pulled up clearly intoxicated, loud and ready to stir trouble, ranting about so-called fake Hollywood saints in front of donors and industry leaders. Then, he took it even further and joked at full volume that Keanu was the most boring Zen robot I've ever met. People around them let out those nervous laughs that only happen when someone crosses a line in public. But Keanu didn't laugh for a second. He looked at Shia with a calmness that cut deeper than yelling ever could and said, "Cruelty isn't honesty, it's insecurity." Then he walked out, leaving the whole room frozen. Everyone there knew exactly who that message was aimed at, and Shia couldn't joke his way out of it. That moment marked the point of no return. As the years went on, Shia's arrests, violent outbursts, chaotic behavior, off-the-wall performance art pieces, and non-stop clashes with directors only widened the gap. Keanu didn't see any of it as rebellion or artistic edge. To him, it was pure irresponsibility that created unsafe spaces for everyone else. So when a major studio tried to cast them together in 2014, Keanu allegedly turned the offer down in minutes, reportedly saying only, "Not a healthy environment." That was the closest he ever came to publicly acknowledging Shia by name. No greetings, no small talk, no polite nod across a red carpet. Nothing. For Keanu, Shia became the one actor he refuses to let anywhere near his professional world. And then there's Jared Leto, the method actor whose extreme behavior pushed Keanu past his limits in a completely different way. People always call Keanu the calmest guy in Hollywood, but when he had to work near someone as intense as Jared Leto, even longtime crew members were shocked at how far things went. Leto is one of the very few actors who dragged Keanu from quiet discomfort into genuine resentment, and the story behind it made the industry gasp. The tension between Keanu and Jared Leto didn't start with a big argument. It started quietly, long before either man ever spoke a word about it. It began the moment Keanu started hearing stories from crew members who had just wrapped projects with Leto. And those stories weren't about talent or discipline. They were about chaos. Instead of preparation and respect, people talked about disturbing method acting stunts, sending dead animals to co-stars, refusing to break character for days, demanding wild, last-minute rewrites, and turning sets into high-stress zones where everyone felt like they were walking on eggshells. Keanu didn't need anyone to explain the danger. He felt it instantly. Later, in a quiet moment with a crew member, he said, "You can't harm people in the name of art." That sentence was the exact moment he drew an invisible line between himself and Leto, a line he never planned to cross. The breaking point hit during a closed casting meeting in 2011. A director pitched a psychological thriller and casually suggested pairing Keanu and Leto together. Before the sentence even finished, a casting executive remembered Keanu letting out a sharp exhale and shaking his head immediately. And then, in one of the rare blunt moments of his entire career, he said, "Chaos isn't a technique, it's a warning sign." The room went silent. Nobody argued. Nobody questioned him. They all knew exactly who he was talking about. And the situation didn't improve as time passed. Leto kept doubling down on dramatic extremes, injuring himself on set, sending grotesque gifts to castmates, and insisting that suffering was part of authenticity. To Keanu, there was nothing authentic about putting people in harm's way. It was just another red flag, waving louder every year. Keanu saw things completely differently. To him, Jared Leto wasn't deep at all. He was dangerous. His extreme methods didn't build trust on set. They shattered it. People weren't inspired by him. They were scared of what he might do next. By 2016, studios quietly stopped trying to force the two into the same projects because Keanu rejected every single suggestion without hesitation. Today, they stay far apart. No greetings, no light conversation, not even a polite nod across an award ceremony. For Keanu, Jared Leto represents the one thing he will never allow in filmmaking: pain disguised as artistry. Then comes Val Kilmer, the ego that clashed hard with Keanu's quiet humility. Val Kilmer is the only name on Keanu Reeves' list whose intense reputation showed up long before he did. People warned Keanu constantly, saying, "Kilmer is brilliant, but he'll burn the room down to get what he wants." Keanu didn't want to believe it. Not until he saw it with his own eyes. And that's the moment admiration turned into solid resentment he never let go of. Their tension started way back in the early 1990s, when both actors were being considered for similar action and drama roles. Kilmer would hit auditions like a storm, walking in with heavy critiques and tossing dismissive comments at other actors' performances as if he owned the entire space. One day, he glanced at Keanu's audition tape, smirked, and scoffed, "He's too simple. Acting requires fire, not stillness." That line spread quickly through the room like a spark, and everyone felt the disrespect. Keanu didn't confront him, but he didn't forget it either. For someone who values discipline, calmness, and respect, hearing his craft mocked so loudly hit deeper than anyone realized, and that moment became the starting point of a cold divide that never healed between them. Keanu never forgot Kilmer's insult, not because it wounded him, but because it revealed exactly what kind of person Kilmer truly was. The real rupture between them came a little later, during a studio dinner in 1995. Kilmer started criticizing a young cinematographer, claiming he wasn't being lit like a legend. The room went uncomfortable fast, and Keanu tried to calm the situation, stepping in with his usual gentle tone. But Kilmer snapped back at him with, "Don't play wise monk with me." Keanu froze for a moment, not angry, just deeply disappointed. Then he whispered, "You don't belittle people you depend on." That quiet line hit harder than shouting ever could, and in Keanu's mind, that was the final nail. So when a big studio pitched a Keanu-Kilmer collaboration in 2004, Keanu rejected it instantly. No explanation, no discussion, just a solid, unshakable no. Today, if the two cross paths at events, they walk past each other without a word. Not hate, not drama, just a cold distance that will never thaw. Then there's Shawn Young, the unpredictable force Keanu refuses to stand near ever again. Shawn Young is the only name on Keanu Reeves' list that he avoids, not out of anger, but out of straight-up exhaustion. With the others, the tension came from philosophy, ego, or behavior. But with Shawn, it was about survival. Their very first interaction told Keanu everything he needed to know, long before the rest of Hollywood caught on. The first warning sign with Shawn Young hit Keanu way back in 1989 during an industry rehearsal. She showed up late, slammed her script onto the table so hard the room jumped, and immediately started accusing the director of playing favorites. Keanu watched her flip the entire energy of the room upside down in under 3 minutes, and that moment became the seed of a silent resentment that grew heavier as the years rolled on. The real collision came 5 years later, in 1994, during a casting session where both were shortlisted for the same studio project. Shawn didn't just critique another actress's performance, she openly mocked her in front of everyone. Then she turned to Keanu with a smirk and said, "This business loves quiet boys like you. They're easy to control." Keanu didn't say a word back. He just closed his notebook calmly and walked out, leaving the room stunned. Later that evening, he confided to someone close, "Cruelty disguised as confidence is still cruelty." It was one of the incredibly rare times he let his true feelings about another actor slip out. As time went on, Shawn's behavior didn't improve. It escalated. Public incidents involving alcohol, storming onto film sets uninvited, fighting with directors, accusing producers of conspiracies and turning press events into pure chaos. Everywhere she went, there was a mess left behind. Keanu saw the pattern clearly. Every project she touched came with collateral damage, and he wasn't willing to expose people to that anymore. So in 2006, when a thriller script landed on his desk, he was interested, until he discovered Shawn Young was being considered for a supporting role. He turned the offer down immediately. When a producer tried reassuring him, saying, "She's cleaned up," Keanu simply answered, "I don't want people hurt again." And just like that, the door closed for good. If you want more shocking Hollywood deep dives, make sure you subscribe to the Hollywood Retro channel.